Then bear in mind, there are some additional things as it relates to our homeless population that we are factoring in. The rental assistance program that we've already provided. So we're adding all of those in. I would see from the federal government, even if they grant us additional flexibility, it's not going to be enough to meet the city's total needs.
So the Economic Stabilization Fund being reduced to zero, your words, precarious situation. Explain to me, how do you define precarious in this situation? What are we potentially looking at?
Let me hit us in August of 2017. In order to immediately ramp up to meet the needs of people from that hurricane, we utilized the $20 million from the Economic Stabilization Fund while we waited on FEMA and federal assistance. But we have that $20 million to immediately start ramping up to meet people's needs, for police and fire and other essential services, public works, you name it. At this point with this budget, the Economic Stabilization Fund is zero. So, for example, if a storm should hit, let's say in June or July, August, the dollars in that Economic Stabilization Fund are gone. There is no rainy day fund, let me put it that way. This budget is as lean as you can get, but what is worse this time around is that even when we had the Economic Stabilization Fund and we used every dime, our fund balance was still above 8%. So we had a secondary source to pull dollars from. This time around, as we move forward with this budget, the Economic Stabilization Fund is at zero, and we are now underneath that 7.5% on the fund balance. So it puts us in a very precarious, vulnerable situation.
You also said that this budget takes into account the potential for more money down the line from the CARES Act that could factor in some changes. We've already received money, as you've discussed.
Right.
Any idea as to how much more you could receive? And if that does not happen, then when do we go back to the drawing board?
Well, this budget, more dollars from the CARES Act, and if we don't get any additional dollars from Congress and another stimulus package, this budget the proposed budget will balance, but it will balance at a huge price with some sacrifices being made, and that is the 5 cadet classes being deferred, being placed on hold. About 3,000 city employees are being furloughed for up to 10 days in the course of a year. There will be some other deferments that are taking place. Additional dollars coming to the city. The proposed budget will balance sacrifices that will have to be made. And it will put the city in a vulnerable state, and we'll simply hope and pray that there are no exigent circumstances that arise that we anticipate being able to pull some additional dollars from the CARES Act based on the redeployment of city's personnel. So I do anticipate that.